Sean, my question to you is American flag truck nuts respectful or disrespectful?
No, that's a really great question because the important thing is that I know that those colors don't run, but I haven't heard if they drag or not. So, still waiting for that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, and I know it ain't right, and I know it ain't right, and I know you shouldn't take this advice, but make sure you really drunk when you drive and walk on some glass with no shoes on and don't pay for your meal, dine and dash.
Yeah, and I'll have different color folders. And I understand that, like, some people are really good at it. Like, they'll be like, okay, well, red is for, it's for all my environmental information. And, the green is that's where I keep my, the data for all the incoming costs and blah, blah, blah.
And then the blue are for my plans.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I just I look at them and I'm like, yep, everything goes into that one. And then when that one's full, I'm going to put them in the one behind it.
Hell yes. I think that works. If someone was going to be out there and they're just going to get into office life, that was their next step, what kind of tip would you give them kind of entering that work field?
Go back to school. I would say, the office life, I would say never turn down cake. Keep maybe a running, I would have a journal of things that you could put in a birthday card. Because when those things get sprung on you, that's like the worst possible scenario when you're like, oh. And if you for some reason you fall into the trap of being like the funny guy at the office,
ooh,
the expectation for that birthday card thing is you can't get away with a little HBD or hope it's a great one. It's gotta be fresh. It's gotta be exciting, and you gotta
throw some heat.
Oh, it is, and it's rough. So I would just stop going. I would stop going to things. And there was a period of time where I got really jaded, and I would just say, I'm writing this for cake. And I knew it was, and then they would look at that and go, oh, how funny. I'm like, that's me at my most honest.
Yeah. But they don't know that. They think it's
right.
Joe. Yeah.
Now they think, oh, look at, he's just criticizing everything. He sees the world through a different lens. I like that about him.
Oh, he wrote, Deborah, I hope you die in a vat of acid. Oh, you
I can't wait for next year.
You absolute jester.
Wait, he told me he wanted me to die in a vat of acid.
He's copying his birthday cards.
he's reusing material. He's plagiarizing himself.
Yeah, you never want to do that. For birthday cards, I steal speeches from Michelle Obama.
Oh, it never gets old, right? I mean, it's perfect. Yeah, I use just various We Are the World lines from We Are the World, and just sort of go through them. Yeah,
that's big. Just take Linkin Park lyrics or really whatever's around you.
Yeah, just a segment completely out of context, not even the start and finish, but almost the end of one line and then the beginning of the other. That's the way to do it because it keeps them guessing. It feels like a scavenger hunt, it's a mosaic of words and they got to put together.
Oh, for sure. They're reading it to when you were a young boy, your dad took you to a parade. Told you that one day you're going to be a savior of the damned.
It's it is my 30th.
This is a get well soon card.
I lost my grandmother.
She lost both of her kidneys in a terrible ski accident.
See, those are really tough too because that has happened where they've been they'll start passing a condolences card around.
Yeah. And
your instinct is just to see it, you look at it, and you're just but so you gotta look at the other things that people are saying before you throw down the hope it's a great one, or something like that.
Here's a little tip, okay? If you get that, you realize it's a condolence card, maybe pull up some sad videos online. For me personally, it's when the more happy videos that get me is when a child reunites with their father who was in the military. Always gets me crying, and then cry directly into the card.
Yes, exactly. So that way the tears are authentic. I'll put on one of those. Hey, this kid is putting on those colorblind glasses for the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if those are amazing, but apparently those are available only to the trashiest families. You never see just a regular family. They're just hey, look at that blanket hanging off the shed, and it's got blue in it. That's kind of the extent of it. And you're just like, why are we wasting sight on these people?
Well,
right?
because the elite, they genetically change their child from the get-go.
Right. Yeah, they get the sonogram and like, I don't think I like this one. Whip.
Yeah, they don't need glasses. They have stem cells they can inject right into their eyeballs.
That's right. They just dip, like during the baptism, right? They just soak them in a big old vat of stem cells, and they come out like, oh, I can see colors.
Yeah, they can just buy poor people eyes.
Right. Meanwhile, Jethro in Oklahoma is just excited that he can see his Huffy bike for the first time. Is that what Russ looks like?
Yeah, he used to slide on a pair of pit vipers to see different colored M&Ms.
Perfect. I love it. That's exactly the way. Snake handling, man. Did you ever get into that?
Snake handling.
Yeah, like the churches that would do snake handling. You aware of that?
Oh, I listened to an audiobook where it was said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they like a big cobra in a box, and they're like snake charmers.
I love it. Yeah, you hear them. Well, they're like, we're talking like, you get to some of these. I don't want to say all Pentecostal churches, but there's some versions of Pentecostal churches where they will actually, because there's scripture that says that, with the power of Christ will give you the ability to handle venomous snakes. And so they do that. They will hold venomous snakes in the church service because they believe that they are, that they are immune through their salvation. And the theory that I have is that because they'll get bit and they'll be like, they're fine. It's like, yeah, but if you listen to them, I don't think they were fine beforehand. Like there does come a point, I think, where there's enough incestuous genetic mutation that goes on that yeah, sure, their face looks like a rotting pumpkin, but the upside is they are immune to snake venom. So, if you can't handle snakes, you ain't living right. I'm like,
There's a trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. You take the good, you take the bad. And oftentimes, though, these people do end up, spoiler alert, dying of snake bite venom. But,
In my head, all I can picture is Jake the Snake with just a deacon of this backwoods church.
You go to the church and it's like, it's an image of Jake the Snake on the cross. I'm not familiar with Jesus wearing that spandex. Yeah, I love it. I love the idea that. No, I'm in for that. That's now that I think about it, I should consider a clergy position. Because I wonder, because you see people, trying to convert folks on the street corners and whatnot. I'm not familiar. Maybe it's because I live in California, but I'm not familiar with those folks trying to convert. Are they, instead of handing out little Bibles, they're handing out little rattlesnakes? Take it home. Yeah. If you survive, you're living right.
Here's a cotton mouth in a Twix box. Okay, if you last 7 days, you're practically Jesus.
You never know when the Sidewinder is going to end up in your house. Are you on the right side of the Lord?
My youngest Bobby died last year. He was unpure. He didn't have the sight.
Threw him in a cobra pit, and I knew he was not clean.
He didn't have what it takes. I saw it in his eyes. He was watching. He was watching them Oprah shows.
Oh, I love it. No, that's great. I didn't. Did you get your ballot information yet?
I haven't checked the mail in the past couple of weeks.
I got my ballot, and I got the little list or the booklet of all the different candidates. Mm-hmm. And you go through the different ones. You got the Democratic Party, the Republican Peace and Freedom, which I think is adorable. They're still doing it. Green Party, and then there was one that just said no party affiliation, and they opted not to have their picture in there. And I'm like, this is going to be a doozy. And sure enough, I think the first thing it said on there, vaccines kill people and the God ordained immune system. I'm like, yes, go on.
Hell yes.
They even threw shade at Homer Simpson in their thing. Yeah, I thought it was crazy. They said
Homer Simpson's a liberal.
Exactly. They said white supremacy equals Planned Parenthood. I thought that was an interesting one.
God damn, dude.
And then at the end, the last thing, their mic drop thing, they said, promote nuclear fusion. I was like, whoa, okay. Kind of buried the lead on that one.
Yeah, he's just out there he was pissed about the Chernobyl show. And he's like, I need to get into politics. What they're doing to nuclear power is ridiculous.
Don't you dare take my picture.
Okay. if I get seen, I'm gonna get sent back to Idaho.
I know. I'm just like, what's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, the primaries. Who votes for those? Next thing you know, this guy ends up being on the ballot. Like,
Yeah, his like entry speech is just a 30-minute dictation about the liberal propaganda of The Simpsons.
He's filibustering his own speech.
Guy, in my life, donuts aren't pink. Okay, they need to be blue, a man's color. All right,
exactly. Donuts is turning our children gay.
They are feminizing the youth.
Sprinkles is a derogatory term.
So in this current field of politics, let's give some advice.
Perfect. Yeah, this is. Let's be polarizing. Let's change some lives.
If someone wanted to get in politics, just some schlub off the street, how do you think? What tips and advice do you think that we could give him to become the next senator?
First, get a PayPal or a Venmo, right? I mean, this ain't gonna be cheap. Okay.
No.
You know, so that's
Cash App me, bro.
Get a little Cash App. Yeah, Cash App. Get the whole thing. Maybe get a little GoFundMe, a Kickstarter. You know, get money where you can, right? I mean, there's
Snapchat Cash, whatever you need.
This is a rich man's game, all right? This is politics. This is cutthroat. Second, you got to get a thick skin. Go to some roast battles, right? Because that's going to set you up for all your debates. It's going to set you up for all the haters. Look, you and I are comics, so we know all about haters.
I'm hated constantly because I'm so popular. I'm so big. I mean, the constant hate I get because I'm so on a pedestal.
Oh, exactly. It's the thing is, once you get a hater, then you know you've made it. So the worst thing you can have is indifferent, right?
For sure.
You can't have people that just don't care, but not us, man. Look at us. We're a big deal.
My worst one, people come up to me all the time. What really gets under my skin is like, wow, your teeth are too perfect.
Oh my God. I get that so often.
Yeah.
And then I go, give me back my jar of teeth. And that's the only way to settle it. Yeah, I don't need you criticizing it. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't dig up those graves. I did.
Exactly. No, I go out I go when if I find out anyone talks about their kids, like, oh, I got to get money for the tooth fairy tonight. I go into that house first. I take it, and then it puts it in a weird situation because now they got to put the money in there because they assume that the teeth were there. I mean, the kid gets his buck because the parents don't know what happened to the tooth. They assume he swallowed it. I have a baby tooth. I'm already ahead of the game.
It's a weird.
They already budgeted for that dollar, so it's all fine. I mean, nobody loses in a situation where I steal somebody else's baby teeth.
Plus, if you don't give those back to me, I'm going to get my legs broken because I'm in debt to the St. Louis teeth mafia.
Dude, that St. Louis teeth, they ain't no joke, right? And that's the thing is you would think that moving to California is out of their jurisdiction. No, it's everywhere.
You never know who they are.
Yeah. SLTM, man, they nobody to trifle with. I'll tell you that right
now. I thought I was safe in a Phil's coffee the other day.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I went to grab my coffee and the barista grabbed my wrist and they said, "You better deliver."
Like, wait, you're not Jessica. You're damn right, I'm not.
Why is that huge man wearing such a tiny apron? What's going on?
Nobody saw him until how was he Employee of the Month last month?
Damn, he's so quick. He's such a good employee. Okay, so
like I said, get that money,
get thick skin,
get that thick skin. Like I said, roast battles. Let people tell you how terrible you are, so that you can get used to it.
Also, not only mentally thick skin, but physically, literally get thicker skin to ward off assassination attempts.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's the thing is, I mean, with the budget and the supply chain issues that we're having, we can't get Secret Service as much as we used to, and there's so many people in politics. You have to get to a point where you have to be able to take at least a 38 caliber bullet, like from 5 feet away, just as a person, right?
Think of Johnny Appleseed's feet all over your body.
It's about getting calloused, and I mean, you get the full body callus it's a hard thing to do. I mean, look at what happened to Madison Cawthorn when he tried, but I mean, but he's working on it still. But the thing is, but if you gotta have it, you want to be rough all over, because the thing is that like that's the criticism a lot of times that politicians are soft. They don't know what it's like to be a working blue collar type person.
Absolutely.
But if you get up to that podium, I would say wear as little as possible.
Oh, you want to show off them blisters.
Yeah, yeah. If you are actively blistering, like that's the real sweet spot. Is like it's one thing to be blistered, it's another thing to be blistering, and that
Oh,
is a
absolutely.
really that shows that like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to do this debate. I was in the middle of doing something where my entire body was paying the price for it,
Yeah,
and
I was.
that goes a long way with voters.
Yeah, I was burrowing in sand for 3 days.
You want to look so off-putting that in the middle of your speech, they are running to the polls just so they don't have to look at you, right? And they're like, I'll vote. I want to vote for that person, but I just don't want to look at him.
I can't get the image or his name out of my head.
Exactly. Like if you can, and this is where the money is gonna really factor in. If you can, when your name is on a ballot, if you can make it so that your name is Scratch and Sniff. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for anything that smells.
Absolutely.
You give me those Sir Marks a lot, or those pens, that you have them and like they smell. Like every time, like I know I'm wearing ink on my nose, but damn it, that smelled like artificial cherry.
It's too goddamn good. I love the grape. I can't live without it.
Oh my goodness, you go through all those. I mean, I loved it when they would just they break out new flavors. And I remember seeing brown and I'm like, what's this gonna be? I hope it's chocolate.
What a great way to start a whole new line of addicts.
I know, that's such a great idea. It's like, hey, guess what we've got? We have scented spray paint now. All you gotta do is just put it right into this rag.
Yeah. Do you have an old tube sock you can fill up?
It's such a wild idea because I mean, were kids like reluctant to color and they needed to up the game? Right. Like someone's like, kids just aren't coloring anymore.
We need to make them smell.
My drawing doesn't smell like root beer.
I drew root beer, but why can't it smell like root beer?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean you put all because that's the thing is like it didn't really smell. I mean, it gets smelled a little bit on the paper.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but like it's not like it's gonna last forever. So you just grab it right to the source. I want to smell that pen.
Get it in there.
Just can't get enough. Like you ever smell the scent right out of it? Like I mean, I know you can run out of ink, but I wonder if you could just smell the smell
run out of the scent.
Exactly. It's like scratch and sniffs. I mean, there's only so much scratching you can do. I mean, get to the point where you start wearing through.
So like, wow, this ballot really tastes like rusted pennies.
Yeah, it's like, and what would you? So if you were a candidate, what would you choose to have your Scratch and Sniff name be like on the ballot?
Probably something like freedom.
Oh, smell like freedom, yeah, like a hard-boiled bald eagle egg.
Yeah, or victory. I would sound like smell like victory, and like, ooh, it smells like what's that, napalm?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like maybe like that smell of when you put fireworks into a bucket of water when you're done with them. Yeah. Everybody knows, like, oh wow, I like that. That was because that is a past tense smell. That means like the good news is freedom's already happened. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, now it's the aftermath.
Yeah. Let's live in a world where the freedom's already there.
Yeah, now
I'm the candidate for that.
I
would do that or banana. Banana might be the other one.
Banana could be good. Who doesn't like banana?
And then you would probably put you'd actually have to nickname yourself like I would be like Stevie Nanas Ausburne, and that way it makes a little more sense. Like, why is he Nan? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now coming to stage, Stevie Nanas Ausborne.
That's right.
And then you get the walk-up song.
Exactly. I love it. No,
it's bananas.
Everybody's waiting for me to slip on a banana peel, but I don't because you live in that tension.
Oh, tension is huge when it comes to
they're like, don't step to your left. Oh, he stepped right over it. I don't think this is an accident.
It has to be fraud. And then get all the people on Reddit. It has to be a conspiracy. It's obviously faked. And you get the other people. No, he's my God. I love him.
I saw him do his speech. He was wearing mostly nothing. He was full body calloused, and he never slipped on a banana peel. I'm telling you, I don't even know. I can't chart this guy in a graph.
He would never lie to me. I wish he was my dad.
I'd give him a hug if he wasn't so damn calloused. I cut my lip when I went in for a hug.
He's so sharp. He's like that tank.
People are sending me banana-scented chapstick. They're like, hey, your nanas, and rub it all over.
Yeah, put it all over your body. Could help with your calluses.
All right, so those three. I guess that's even though the third one was kind of like a subset of two, but I like that. I mean, like, right. So you got, the get that money. You need a figurative thick skin, and you need a literal thick
Literal
skin.
fake, yeah, thick skin. It's being transparent. People love honesty. Okay,
Sure.
go in there, say, hey, I want to become part of the deep state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is the best way I know to at least get to meet somebody and maybe potentially be a part of the Illuminati.
Yeah, I want to sacrifice children in the woods.
Right. I've already got all this teeth. Right. I've got the jars of teeth. Now, if I can just find their owners.
I just got fitted for this beautiful satanic robe, and if I don't get to wear it, it'll be a real waste of $500.
Unfortunately, it was a pre-pandemic fitting, and I put on a little bit of LBs. Don't worry. That's why I always like to get my satanic robes just a size down, just to inspire me to maybe lose that weight.
Absolutely. Get myself in that gym, in that
a nice reversible satanic robe, so I can have it on multiple occasions. One obviously for the ceremony, but then you have one for the after party, and you don't have to go back to the car. You just do a quick switcheroo.
I wonder if satanic cults ever have like a casual Friday where they wear like Snuggies.
They just have like a denim robe.
Yeah. Well, with denim robe, you really got to make sure you wear stuff underneath. Chafing must be a real hassle.
It's got to be. But if you're calloused enough, just keep it coming. Like it's a flex, really. If you go in there, they're like, dude, he's going commando under that denim robe. Look at that body. Are you kidding me?
He could walk through anything. That guy, I saw him walk through a car wash the other day.
His entire body is like Seal's face.
It doesn't get wet. It's impossible.
All right. So what else? So we got that. We have the I think martial arts. I think it'd be good to have that in your back pocket.
For sure, being able to just intimidation and letting know that not only can you keep yourself safe, but you can keep this country safe.
That also, and for the performative aspect of it, right? Like it would be pretty awesome if, like, at the end of your speech, whether it's acceptance or anything, you could pull off like a David Lee Roth style roundhouse kick and just full on, maybe with some toe touches at the end. I mean, like because that's how you win the moderates, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're such a polarized nation. But if you can you want those people that are like, okay, I'm just not sure. I could go either way. But then you see that roundhouse, like, all right. That's why Obama was so popular, is because he was like the king of like the verbal roundhouse kicks. Mm-hmm. So we all appreciated, what he was able to do with his voice.
Absolutely. If you had a stack of 20 bricks and you could have someone in the crowd pick out which brick you wanted to break, and then you could karate chop and bust that brick, I mean, no way you're not going to win.
I love the idea that, like, they're all coming, like, instead of their I like Ike buttons, they're all bringing their own brick and hope, Yeah. And instead of signing them, you're just chopping them, and you're just a line of, like, not kissing babies. I'm out there just chopping bricks.
Yeah. Break the unions. Break my brick. Break the unions. Break my brick.
I love it.
That's a politician I can get behind.
Yeah, you do lose the bricklayer union just because they're like, look, I just feel like we're working for nothing over here.
You're busting the bricks. You're busting my bricks. That's my livelihood.
You're taking food out of my kid's mouth every time you do one of those.
Yeah, at least pay for the bricks.
Yeah, then there's like, oh, well, I want more roundhouse kicks, less bricks, more kicks, less bricks. But like the whole thing, and also, yeah, that's a key part of this whole thing. You got to have something that rhymes. Oh, if you don't have a rhyming slogan, get out, Jack. I mean, forget about it.
Okay. Jack's perfect. Hey, I'm Jack. I'm not going to take no flack.
There we go. Boom. Yeah. It's absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be a real shame if your name was Orange.
That would be a tough one. That's why I went with Bananas as my nickname, because there's so many other options.
So many other names.
Yeah.
Yeah. The nickname is big. Like, I don't think people have, like, politicians don't have as many nicknames now as they used to.
No, but see, Trump was good at that, right? Like, what I loved is Trump was just doling out nicknames,
Left
like
and right.
like, and it to me, it seems like kind of counterproductive because I know he's trying to throw shade, but at the same time, it's like, dude, getting a nickname's a big deal, even a bad one. Like,
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
I never had a nickname when I was in growing up, and I always wanted one. I had buddies who had nicknames, and I'm like, oh, come on, can't you call me something? And
Yeah.
like, if somebody was calling me Sleepy Joe, or I'm like, dude, all right, dude, I'm in. I love to sleep.
I'll
I'm
lean
real
right
good
into
at
it.
Yeah, you-
Yeah, I fall asleep all the time. My blood pressure is terrible.
you should probably put a mirror under my nose because sleep is the best case scenario.
Yeah, I'll be in the middle of taking the SATs when I'm 37. I'll fall right asleep.
And calling him Sleepy Joe is pretty good, but it's like, and I guess it kind of sounds like Sloppy Joe, but Sloppy Joe seems like it was a little, like it was right there. You know, I mean that it just seems like a fun thing to do. I mean, I think Sloppy Joe is a really everyone can get behind it. I mean, Sleepy Joe again, it's like, yeah, I mean, he's 80. He should take a nap. Probably it's on all of our best interests if he gets a little rest.
Yeah, a little sleep. It's a high pressure job.
Hey Joe, I don't want you burning the candle at both ends. I don't even. We want to take the keys from the PT Cruiser because we don't want you driving either. To be perfectly honest,
Take a nap in the old day bed. Take a chill pill.
give me 30 minutes of your best effort a day.
That's
Just-
all we need. And there's like the other ones like Teddy. What do you call Teddy Cruz? He was just call him Teddy.
But Ted was he was, man, what was it? Was it like Lion Crew? Like it was something. He
Yeah.
had a yeah. And I mean, I know that he insulted his
Cruz.
wife quite a bit.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, but that wasn't enough. Like Ted's like, you gave me a nickname. That's cool.
Yeah. But then like old Andrew Jackson, like he was old Hickory.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then wasn't another one Old Kinderhooks?
Probably. That sounds
I
like
don't.
that sounds like a steak seasoning.
Ooh, hey, could you get a little bit more of the old Kinderhooks on this thing? Yeah, it's a little bland for
Yeah,
me.
this porterhouse could really benefit for some Kinderhooks.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what a Kinderhook is, but I know what a kindergarten is, and the idea of there being like, is that where they would hang their jackets?
I mean,
You would come in from recess and you would hang your jacket on the Kinderhook.
I think Kinder is like a fire starter.
That's Tinder, right?
Kinder,
Kindling
kindling,
and Tinder.
and then Tinder's a dating website.
Well, yes, but it was. I believe Tinder. Look, now we're gonna go to my information device because I feel like we're answering all the wrong questions right now.
I mean, we're so close.
Yeah. So now when you go to the old internet, all it talks about is the actual dating app. I know that. Because I know that there was a place in the mall called the Tinder Box, and that's where you would go to get like tobacco and pipes and whatnot.
And
So-
the perfect place, the mall.
The mall is where, yeah, that's where you want to go. It was right across the street, or right across the way from the arcade, which was known as Aladdin's Castle. You're probably too young for that. Tinder is a highly flammable material formerly used for catching the spark from a flint and steel struck together for fire and light.
And then what is Kinder? Is Kinder anything?
Well, Kinder. Sorry, my dog.
Isn't there a Kinder egg?
That's
That's what
That's what you're thinking.
I was thinking of. Kinder chocolate, I think.
So Kinder. Let's go Kinder definition. This is great. Now, kinder means
is
more
it-
kind.
Is it Kinder?
That's sure. That's kinder, but I know that there's what is the meaning? So it's when you look at it. Oh, word kindergarten comes from the German language. Kinder means children, and Garten means garden.
A garden of children.
It's a children garden.
Okay, watch them grow.
So Kinderhook would be a child hook. I gotta know more about old Kinderhooks here. And
Kinderhook. Seems like a problematic gentleman.
Old Kinderhook, Martin Van Buren. Is,
Okay. What was he
known as,
What was he? The 35th?
He was the 8th.
I was way off.
Yeah, way off. Yeah, and old Kinderhook because he loved to just collect children with hooks.
Yeah, you know the old scary story about the two kids hanging out in the car at the Overlook, and then the hook murderer is out, and then they hear a scratch in the car, but they're like, it's nothing. They drive home. And when they get out of the car, they see an old rusty hook hanging from the door handle. That was about our 8th president.
Yes, right, exactly. And the call is coming from within the White House. Yeah, so I guess he was from Kinderhook. Like, that's a place. So there's he was born in Kinderhook, New York.
That'd be cool.
There we go.
Just be named after the place you're from.
Right. Old Child Hook, New York. I don't know. That's an odd thing to name, right? I mean, it's like, no, because kindergarten, like, garden. And unless maybe hook in German doesn't quite mean like what we consider a hook.
It could be something else.
Sure. Let's hope it's something else.
Yeah.
Let's hope they're not out there, fishing with children as bait.
For sure. I mean, they have aggressive language. Nothing against.
It was a different time. Most of the residents, according to what I'm reading here, were Dutch. So
okay, watch out.
Look, they wear shoes made of wood. They use children for bait. It's a wild place, Holland.
It was the 1900s.
It was a wild time. So, Martin Van Buren, he sought to reestablish the two-party system. I'm just looking at the first thing that I see here. Sought to reestablish a two-party system with partisan differences based on ideology rather than personalities or sectional differences.
Okay.
How about that? Maybe we could use a little more Martin Van Buren these days,
we could use a new Kinderhook in the White House.
The new Kinderhook. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea that's like, look, you take the good, you take the bad. Look, he's really trying to emphasize ideologically based political parties. He might hook your children, but he might. He's just.
Hey, at least he's being honest about it. You got to take the good with the bad.
He's wearing it. Look, you either got to vote for the guy that's going to hook children or the guy that's all callous. What's it going to be? Well, you got two options based on ideology alone.
Yeah, and don't give me the old, I can't pick from two bad candidates bullshit. Yeah, you need to pick Callus or Kinderhook 2.0.
The Kinderhook reboot.
I think what America needs is a rebrand.
That's just a complete start over, start fresh.
I'm talking new colors. I'm talking new designs, new attitude.
I'm in. That's what a president should do, Larry. Because I think Trump was trying to do that, and then Biden tried to hey, let's get baup to normal. I think it's time to go in there and just go Star Spangled Snoozer. We're getting an absolutely new song.
Call up Jack Harlow and Dua Lipa. Okay, we're getting a new anthem.
Get everybody together. I mean, get someone we can trust. Maybe get Lionel Richie involved.
Absolutely.
And then
Simon Cowell can confirm it.
Well, and the thing is the flag. We changed the flag over the course. I mean, we see it now where you've got people that, like, I saw somebody with the flag of just the 13 stars. Mm-hmm. They were rocking that on their big old truck. I know, shocking, it was on a big old truck, but they had that on the back, which I thought was interesting. And then of course you got the Gadsden flag, which was that actually our flag, or was it like an alternative flag, like how the Warriors have alternative jerseys?
It could be an alternate.
Right. So just how about that? I mean, because we're bringing the flags out. We're doing that whole, we've obviously done reboots, right? We added 50 stars. There wasn't always 50. So, I mean, at some point you could just say, look, maybe we could compromise. We can keep the colors, but we can change it up a little bit if you want. How about a circular flag?
Circular? Who has circular flags? Nobody.
And then how about instead of just a flag, a red, white, and blue, one of those inflatable guys that sort of like flap around at used car lots?
Big. I mean, that gets everyone in the season of buying. Oh,
and yeah, try to upstage that at the Olympics. Anybody else? Like, everybody else is dropping their flags, and we got this thing. And I would then, at that point, I would probably change our national anthem to "We Like to Party" by the Venga Boys.
Absolutely.
Oh, any Venga Boy song will do.
Any Venga Boys, and then maybe a Black Eyed Peas if they want.
Exactly, maybe it's like jury duty, like they get called in every once in a while to do it. I love that idea.
Tonight's gonna be a good night.
They're like, it's that time. Venga Boys are like, it's okay, we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll let them have their moment in the sunshine. My question to you is: American flag truck nuts, respectful or disrespectful?
No, that's a really great question because the important thing is that I know that those colors don't run, but I haven't heard if they drag or not. So still waiting for that.
Yeah. Do the colors stick to your leg when it gets above above 70 degrees?
That's right. These you can't shave these colors.
That's too wrinkly.
Yeah, that is something. The truck nuts in and of themselves are just such a. Nothing. It's one of those perfect gifts too, because for the most part, chances are you either know people that do not have truck nuts, so this is okay, this is something you don't have, or you have someone that could probably use a fresh set of truck nuts, right?
Sure.
The have seen some climate, they've been through the elements, they've seen the terroir, if I may borrow from the wine nomenclature.
You may.
Thank you.
I always judge the same way. I'm seeing construction guys judge people if they have brand new, clean, pristine boots. I judge people when they have pristine truck nuts.
Exactly. You don't know. You haven't lived.
You weren't in this life.
Probably one of those guys that at the end of the day takes the truck nuts off, brings them into the house, sets them down with his wallet and keys.
Yeah. I wonder if people ever get confused with truck nuts. They're they don't know where to put them. Okay, fuzzy dice go around the mirror, and then truck nuts go in the back. It could get mixed up real easy. You get dice
How
in the
embarrassing
back.
would that? So embarrassing when you're sitting there and you got your truck nuts just hanging right in your peripheral vision.
Nuts in the front, bad luck.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it seems like we were writing a Big Johnson shirt for a second there. But that was,
sure.
that was a good time.
Yeah, your buddies come in. They're like, "What are your truck nuts doing around your mirror?" It's embarrassing.
Yeah, then you go, I think my truck is cold, and they just went inside.
It's evolution.
Yeah, waiting for his truck nuts to drop.
Wait for the truck nuts. So I think those were all probably good tips if you want to become a senator or some kind of government official.
That's definitely, easily House of Representatives, right?
Easily. College, don't worry about.
It's funny, how I don't, I feel like I've become, maybe it's because I'm older, maybe it's because politics has been so ramped up in terms of it's definitely a lot more like professional wrestling nowadays, which is kind of fun. But I don't know when I came to the realization that the House of Representatives and the Senate were different.
I mean, I don't really know what the difference is. But
I know that the Senate just basically dunks on the House of Representatives, right? The House of Representatives, it's like this fast and loose, the whole impeachment thing, right? They're hey, we're gonna impeach the president. And the Senate's psych. I love it. And they would do the big walk. They walk from the House of Representatives to the Senate chambers with all their all the paperwork, all their file folders that are all in the right colors, because they know how to do it.
They parked their lifted trucks right outside. Their truck nuts still swinging.
That's right. People are USA, and then they go to hand it to the Senate, and the Senate's yeah, right. It's just I love the idea that they can work so hard on one part of Congress, and the other one can just dunk on them.
Yeah, no, that's great in everything. When someone has the power to deny someone's hard work.
Oh, I love it. And I like the idea. That should be, man, how is there not a and maybe there is because I don't watch wrestling anymore, but how is there not a Washington, D.C. based tag team duo called Checks and Balances? I think that would be amazing, right?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
That's right. I come in here, you better check yourself.
Yeah, we're talking about the judicial branch.
No one particular part of the judicial system should have all the power. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, buddy. I'm going to POTUS all over you.
77 ago, if you know what I mean.
I got the entire armored guard on my biceps, and I'm going to crush you with the entire power and weight of the U.S. government.
Oh, he's going to do a signature move. It's called the inside job.
Oh, for the deep state.
I was gonna make another joke if there was another tag team that was also because there was one called the Twin Towers. It just seems like that would be. Are they gonna both go down?
I appreciate your hesitance.
Yeah, only because and it wasn't so much hesitant about making a 9/11 joke as I was like, was there already a Twin Towers tag team? So it was more of a reference check than it was respect.
For sure. Am I plagiarizing the WWE?
Who was the Twin Towers? Because then that starts going through. Like, because I'm trying to think of maybe when Hogan and Macho Man were they the Twin Towers? Who were the Twin Towers? I'm going back.
If they were the Twin Towers, who was Tower 7?
It was so funny, like even because like remember the Ultimate. I was old enough to remember the Ultimate Warrior's like debut.
Yeah,
and it was such a big deal, and like it's amazing what that face paint did to like I would never be able to tell you what any of his features look like. I mean and even when it was like kind of melting off, there was still like I can't see him. Like there was something about his countenance that made it almost impossible to recognize. I mean, it's magic, really.
It makes sense where like people are like, well, why can't people recognize Superman or Batman? Well,
exactly.
Look at the Ultimate Warrior.
I mean, he was almost completely naked with just face paint on, and I'm like, I would if he had walked by me at a Sears, I would have never known him.
Yeah, that's just that's any 6'5" giant ripped blonde man.
Even if he's got, wearing the Speedo, the boots, and he's got, fringe hanging off of his bare arms, but he didn't have the makeup on, I'd be like, that guy's almost got the costume figured out.
That guy is just a bold, and want to show off his body in a CVS.
I like that, and I wish more people would.
Yeah.
Actually, the CVS, at least the CVS where I live, they don't, the patrons don't leave a lot to the imagination.
No.
No, they'll let you know right up what their problems are. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I talked about it on a past podcast, but CVS is nuts. I went in there the other day, and I was walking down an aisle trying to get to like the drink section, and I was walking in this aisle, not really paying attention, and I look up, and the entire aisle is blocked off. It's blocked off with a bunch of boxed wine.
Oh, we know what you want. Step no further.
Yeah. Your journey ends here.
There's the CVS troll. You have to answer riddles about Franzia before they let you pass.
Yeah, it's like kind of like the Wizard of Oz going down the gray carpeted road.
Yeah, and it was a yellow carpet at one point. Yeah, but those carpets have seen some shit.
Who else has carpet? That's nuts.
Yeah, it feels weird, right? Like when you go into a place of business and it's carpeted.
Yeah, it's troublesome. The things that go on in that carpet.
Like, this better be a bowling alley bar.
For sure. I want to drink Coors Heavy out of a shoe.
Yeah. Ooh, baby, Coors Heavy. The banquet beer, baby.
Mm-hmm. Colorado Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
I want to listen to Johnny Paycheck and cry.
I went to a CVS one time because I had a bit of an issue with a particular body part that was experiencing blood, and it's not an area that you would normally want to see it, nor would you expect it. Mm-hmm. And so I went, and my doctor prescribed me this cream. Mm-hmm. See if you can figure out where it is. It's called Proctazol. So I go to, I give the prescription, mm-hmm. and the guy can't find it. Like he's looking it up. He's like, he's on there. He's like, I can't. What is it? Proctazol? And I'm like, mm-hmm. And he's like, well, what is it? And I'm like, it's just, just search it, I guess, right? And he's like, it's a cream. He's like, yeah. But what's it for? And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, I mean, or is there another category you're searching under? Like, if you're gonna go, I gotta look up butt cream, or it's like, I mean, I can't find it by this name. And so he's like,
I can't find it. What are your friends' numbers? Can I call them up?
Maybe they've heard of it. And I'm like, it's Proctazol. And he's like, well, what's it for? And I'm like, it's for my body. And it became this exchange where he's like, what would you do with it? I'm like, I said, let's just say.
Do you even work here?
I know. I felt like, and so I said, well, I actually used this phrase. I said, well, my backyard is a bit of a mess. And he goes, oh, okay. And he's found it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What did you type in out of that was able, as opposed to the name. I mean, the name was written down on the prescription.
Yeah, he typed in backyard and it came up.
Yeah. Well, so I wait, and then eventually, I get it. I get the cream, and he, I swear to you, he hands it to me, and he looks at me, and he puts his hand on my hand as he's giving me the bag, and he says, "Get better."
I don't think that guy even works there.
No, I don't either. He's either the worst pharmacy tech or, quite frankly, the best. Because he's just, so let's get to the bottom of this. Like, I felt like he prayed for me at that moment.
Yeah, I felt like he ended it with like a politician handshake.
Yeah, exactly. It's just get better. I'm like, you know what? You've had to have seen worse working here, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah. Wow, we've really bonded.
Exactly. You just don't strike me as the kind of guy that would have a bloody butthole.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, thank you.
I hope that like what happened is that the computer system, it's not organized by the name, but it's organized by what people tell them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's organized by these weird phrases that people use. They're like, "Oh, my downstairs is a no-no."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, downstairs, no.
My back door was left open during a tornado.
Yeah, Barbie was lost. I repeat, Barbie was lost.
Look before you sit. And I was like, gosh, I wish. You're trying to tell me that there was no like over the counter option, right? So I don't have to go up there and do that whole situation.
I was standing in line at the pharmacy trying to get medication for my mom, who just got out of the hospital, and I was waiting there. Line's always super long, and they have these chairs that you can sit in, like. Because the pharmacy takes so long. And so you can sit in line, so you can sit in the chair in this line. And I see this guy with a shopping cart, like a bear. And he just takes the shopping cart and railroads through the chair.
Wow.
Into like the wine rack.
Wow.
And then grunting, he picks up the chair and then puts it back in line and then just sits down.
Well, whatever what was there for, they couldn't get it to him fast enough.
Oh, it was some kind of oxen, let me tell you. Yeah.
I always liked going to the pharmacy when I was a kid because I would always put my arm in the blood pressure cuff.
Huge.
That thing was like, I mean, I don't know what it was like. It was so easily amused as a child. It was like, is this a ride? Yeah. And I just put my arm in and I don't have to pay for this. This thing's got buttons and it's going to do something to me. And like, I had no idea what to make of the information that it was giving to me, but I just knew that it would just go. And my mom would get like impatient because I'd be like, oh, I got to do it one more time. She's like, why? I'm like, because it's free. And I had to sit
squeezing.
Here. It's going, like, oh, it's tight.
I'll get all hopped up on muscle milk. I just want to get squeezed, you know?
Putting different body parts in there just to see what would happen.
Yeah. Give me a nipple cap, blue Gatorade.
He's thigh deep in that cuff.
Oh my God, how did he get his head in there? He's such a narrow head. So, Steve, we do have some advice. We'll probably only have time for one or two because it's so.
Hey, you know what? Let's make this a two-parter and we'll call it a three.
All right. Yeah, you can keep on coming back. First thing of advice: answer eating my laptop. What to do? I've seen in the morning that ants are everywhere in my laptop. They have entered inside, and I've seen some residue in the bottom of the laptop. I'm convinced that they're eating something inside. Please give any valuable suggestions.
Do we have the location for this individual?
No location. I'm guessing apartment.
Yeah, definitely San Francisco. I don't know. So I mean, if there's an obvious answer, and it's not as accessible. I mean, if you can get an anteater, right, like a rent one. I take that back. I mean, nowadays with the way that some of the costs are going, it just makes more sense to buy an anteater
for sure. And then you can loan it out. It's really an investment.
The return on investment is simple. If you know that you're going to need an anteater at least 4 times in the next, say, like 2 to 3 years, buy the anteater. It's the same way I approach tuxedos. If I know that it's like, because you just look at the rental fees and you go, look, nothing, you get jobbed, right?
Absolutely.
At the exotic animal rental emporium.
Also, you can take that anteater when you're not using it, and you can rent it out for $35 to IKEA furniture a day, and you'll get your investment.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is if you're willing to do the legwork, if you're willing to put up a Craigslist ad, all those things. I mean, and then it's true that after a while they will not eat ants anymore. But then you have anteater jerky. Which you could try to sell that as well, but I mean, yeah, good luck trying to get me separated from my anteater jerky. All right, I mean,
Right.
it's every day is a cheat day when I've got anteater jerky around the house.
Yeah, it's like Gary and his truck nuts. You can't separate them.
You just can't do it. So yeah, obviously, get the anteater if you can. The other option would be to freeze your laptop.
Put it in the freezer.
Just put it in the freezer.
Put it in the freezer. Kill all the ants.
And yeah, I mean, the laptop probably won't work either. But it's really a matter of priorities at that point. And I don't know, so just take or the other option too. So this is the third option. You know how like if your phone gets wet, what do? Put it in rice.
Put it in rice.
You wouldn't put it in rice. In this case, what you would do is you get a big old bowl of sugar. If you don't have sugar handy, I would say any kind of pebble, cocoa, or fruity.
Absolutely.
Put the laptop in it. And what's going to happen is those ants are going to scurry. They're going to get on their ant horse, and they are going to get to those fruity pebbles. And then you just pull that laptop out, and then your next problem is going to be like, hey, my laptop works fine. Thanks for the tip. But how do I get ants out of my fruity pebbles? Because I'm a hungry boy.
I need munching.
Yeah. So then you kind of run into this whole cycle, this whole gift of the Magi type thing. You dump it on your laptop, and they will eventually go, what's in this laptop? Because there's a lot of crumbs in your laptop. So I would say eat less on your laptop as well. That's a preventative measure.
I think the big thing, the problem isn't his laptop.
It's where he lives, right?
Yeah, it's how he lives.
Yeah, because the ants are probably not just in the laptop.
Yeah, I don't think ants are attracted to electronics.
Right. If they're in the laptop, it means they've run out of places to pee.
Oh, for sure.
So this guy is head to toe ants, is what I think it comes down to. They're just crawling off of his hands into the laptop, and it's like, oh, I get it. No, I know I'm covered in ants. I just don't also want them on my laptop.
Yeah. Yeah. One step at a time. First, get them off the laptop, and then out of me.
Yeah. Move. That might be the other option. Take a bath. There's a variety of options.
Yeah, clean up a little bit.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Okay, you don't need to be throwing your chicken skins on the couch.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Get that chicken. Get a bowl. Just get a bowl for those chicken skins.
Get a bowl. You can still watch your Better Call Saul show, and you can
don't forget. Put a little reminder on your phone to dump that bowl. Because
dump the bowl of chicken skin. Okay.
Because having 17 bowls full of chicken skin is also a problem.
Oh, it won't last. Yeah, and it's going to bring down devastating results. And so, Steve, one more person needs advice.
Sure.
You've done it before. It's me, Steve. If you could give me any advice, any new advice, what advice would you give to old Mikel Nordstrom?
If you do run into a situation where you're like, hey, you know what? There's some daylight in this hair, right? Like, and I was just go bald gracefully.
Okay.
And so you're sort of in that part now where I think you're like holding on, and you found some solutions. But
time.
once you reach a point where it's like, okay, we're definitely on the wrong side. Just own it, grab it. And I'm hoping that I try to keep it tight, with the shaved. I don't go to full just skin. That's not my life. But I would love to see the horseshoe come back. Right?
I saw someone with a George Costanza the other day.
Oh man, that's good.
At an Ike's sandwich.
I'm wondering if that's gonna like when the mustache and the mullet and all these different things. Like, is the horseshoe gonna come in vogue? Is the question, right?
I think it is probably gonna come back big.
I think that would be for you. I think that would be like something that would be real. It would be effective. That would be an effective look for you.
I think. I mean, I've always been known as a trendsetter.
Right.
Hey, what people say? Mikel Nordstrom blazes trails.
He was pegging his pants when it was too early, and he was unpegging them when it was early.
Now he's coming out with this new look, the George Costanza horseshoe.
Oh, I love it. Get the horseshoe, maybe get a fish tie, and you'll be looking real good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna get a keyboard tie.
Ooh, yeah. And if you could get that thing into a ponytail too, which I love that look. When you got the horseshoe and the ponytail, the idea that maybe the ponytail was the problem all along.
that's unemployed in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going out of business in the front and party in the back. Yeah. Now, if you can pull that up, and also another thing is if you do go with the ponytail, don't do the scrunchie. Don't do the hair tie, but I think we could invent it ourselves. Is tiny little truck nuts for your ponytail.
Ooh, would it be one truck nut at the bottom of the ponytail, or would it be like multiple?
Bringing it down. So would it? Yes, I'm thinking that the truck nuts actually create like a little clamp, right? And they go on the back, and then they hang there. But I do like the idea of maybe having a truck nut at the end to keep it weighted down.
Yeah, kind of like a biker's keychain. You know, like.
Or how about this? The truck nuts that float that go on the tip of your ponytail, so when you're swimming, no matter what situation you're in, your ponytail is always level with the water.
Yeah, it's kind of like a buoy, and you're swimming in the YCMA pool. You're like, is that a water snake? What's going on there? That water snake has huge blue testicles. They're like, oh no, that's just Mikel Nordstrom. He's been swimming here for the past 15 years.
He's been swimming in our pool and setting trends. Yeah. The guy has no other alternative.
Yeah. He hasn't cut his ponytail in 15 years.
He just wraps it around and it just floats alongside. Yeah. His ponytail leaves the pool well after he does.
He can reach one side of the pool, and his ponytail, the truck nuts are still touching the other side.
Oftentimes we use his ponytail to separate the deep end from the shallow.
At least once a week, we have to detangle his ponytail in the pool cleaner. He's almost died 13 times.
Die doing what you love, he says, as we just sit there and turn all the machinery off and pull it out.
It almost got sucked into the suction like that kid who got degored.
Oh, Mike, but he's not cutting that thing for nobody. It's a little worse for wear after all of that trauma, but
yeah, for sure. It's like the people who grow their fingernails out for their entire lives. It's kind of like that. It's a ponytail.
Wild that they just go in different directions, right? The fingernails it's like the fingernails themselves are like, I don't want this. I don't want to live like this.
I need to get out of here.
They're just twisting and turning all over.
Yeah, they look like roots.
Yeah, it's wild. It's an amazing thing that we do.
Yeah, Guinness World of Records. They're full of them.
Yeah,
and it just motivates other crazy people.
Yeah, and I'd like to see it with just the Coke pinky nail, right? Like just get that one that's just doing its own thing.
Yeah, my Coke nail is 30 meters long.
If you go end to end, but it's coiled.
Guinness World of Records has really fallen off. I followed their Instagram profile for a while, and I had to unfollow it because it was just too sad.
Go on.
It was like this is Beth, and she has the most pairs of sunglasses than anybody in the world. And it was just an entire room full of gas station sunglasses, like Beanie Babies.
Wow.
What is that? All you have going for you?
Could you imagine? I mean, like you wonder if there was a point where like that was the goal, or if like one of her friends was just like trying to cheer her up, like, well, maybe you have the most crappy sunglasses in the world, and she's like, you think so?
They're like, you're not just a hoarder. You have the most sunglasses.
I would love it if like Elon Musk just went in there and said, you know what, forget Twitter. I'm just gonna break Beth's record. And keep it out of touch, like to the point where like there's just no way she could ever get to it. You know, he's like, how many do you have? He's like, I got 4,000. He's like, well, I just got 20,000.
Yeah, he could do that to the entire book.
He's just going through everything. Just Elon Musk just decides, I want every record. He's over there like, have you seen how much he's eating? He wants to be the fattest man. He can afford that food and the diabetes medication.
Yeah. Have you seen how many pairs of underwear he can jump into in a minute? That's a real record. That was on the Guinness World of Records Instagram.
I guess anything can be a record at this point, right?
You think they would have some, like, they would stop it at some point.
Youngest baby to get shot out of a cannon and live.
Like,
you know how hard it is to get that?
There needs to be some standards here.
Down, Guinness. But it always seemed like they were always a little gross. Like I remember as a kid, like I'd look at them and there was always these old timey pictures of just like just rotten looking humans. I'm like,
this man grows hair everywhere.
It's like, but don't, don't though.
Why you don't need to do that?
Yeah.
They're like,
I mean, because this like the book didn't exist forever. Like there's a point where the book happened, and like some guy was just like, look at all these freaks,
all these gross people.
How do I get pictures of these freaks without making it look like I'm making fun of them? I'll honor it. How about that? Hey, you're the fattest person I've ever seen. Can I get a picture of you on a motorcycle?
It looks so small.
Yeah, he's like, no, this is going to be great. No, here's your reward. You're the fattest guy I've ever seen. And then somebody sees this book. What? I'm fatter than he is. Come to my house and take my picture on a little pony. Watch me kill this pony.
And then the classless competition, Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Right. Yeah, it's like, wait, is this real or not? Who? You tell me.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not doing the work. Guinness is over here authorizing things like, look at that guy. That guy has a tree trunk for an arm. Like, I don't think he does. Well, then don't believe it. See if I care.
Ripley's is definitely the conspiracy theory version of Guinness World Records.
Like, you know what's cool? Real things. You know what's cooler? Maybe not real things.
Yeah. This man is part frog.
Believe it or not. I think I'll go with not. Yeah. We're still in business. Either way.
There was one day, I don't know how old I was a young boy. I went to the Wax Museum, the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, and the Rainforest Cafe.
Wow. That
all
is a trifecta.
in one day.
That's a lot.
Now that's a party, bro.
Well, that's because, I mean, like, I don't even know how the human brain can handle that much stimulus in one day.
Well, it was a lot.
Well, because and it's all about what order you do it in. I mean, you do it in the wrong order, your brain will literally leak out the side of your head.
Oh, that's what happened to Stephen Hawking.
That's right. Yeah, I remember he was jogging into the Ripley's Believe It or Not, then went to the Rainforest Cafe, felt pretty good about it. He's like, I saw an animatronic gorilla. And then he went right into the Wax Museum and just completely collapsed. His entire skeleton turned to mush, and they had to just prop him up. And he was smarter for it. Like, it was the trade-off, right? He's like, I can see the future. And I was like, great, that's awesome.
I saw melting Barry Bonds, and I lost use of my limbs, but I understood time.
I've seen too much, but damn it, I think I've seen enough.
I saw into the future. I saw a waxy Elliot Gould.
I love that it was a waxy Elliot Gould.
Yeah. You know what I also like? Last time you were on the podcast, we talked about wax museums.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're big in wax museums on the Hell Yeah podcast. No.
We should have a podcast where we interview a wax figure.
Doing a live podcast at a wax museum?
Oh man, that sounds. I mean, it's terrifying, but I'm in.
That hasn't been done.
I don't think so.
H3, get out of here. Joe Rogan, get out of here. Last podcast on the left, not on my watch. It's the Hell Yeah podcast coming to you live from the Wax Museum.
Absolutely, I love it. Like we call it waxing poetic.
And we can judge like, oh, is that Tom Cruise looks kind of like Matt Damon.
We could maybe mix and match like they're Mr. Potato Heads, like take the heads off of one and arms on the other. That'd be a fun game, right? Where like you mix them all together and then you have to go, well, whose arms are those? Well, those are Nick Cage's elbows for sure.
Yeah. Those are Hulk Hogan's kneecaps on Natalie Portman's elbows.
That is Nicole Kidman's spinal cord.
I don't know. Who works? How do you get a job at the Wax Museum?
And what do you do?
Do you make the wax figures?
I mean, there's got to be the process, but then there's like the docents, right? The people that take you from wax figure to wax, what is that job? And over here is not Elton John. And over here,
this is almost Lizzo.
See, I would much rather go to the mistake ones, right? The ones that are just like, you tell me who you think it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mystery celebrity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, or it's just siblings of celebrities. Like, ooh, it's Frank Stallone.
Yeah. Which Baldwin is this? I don't know.
Wait, is there a Baldwin that's not been in anything?
Was this the one that was on that True TV show, World's Dumbest?
This isn't even Stephen Baldwin. This is Gary Baldwin. There's no Gary Baldwin.
Come on, that's ridiculous.
No, this is the actual Gary Baldwin. He just pretends to be wax because he has no other alternative.
I wonder is when do the people who make wax people and taxidermists, where do they split?
Yeah, what's that Venn diagram, right? Like, does one beget the other, right? You know, and it's like, I can do it with real, but you can't. You try doing it with fake. You know, if you can make a wax possum, like, well, anybody can take a regular old possum and shove stuff into it.
Oh, there's definitely probably very competitive.
Just looking down on
seminars.
Each other. just like. Yeah, they're like, oh, you give taxidermy a bad name. You're out there creating fiction with a non-fiction portion of this society.
Not on my watch. It's really embarrassing when they have competing expos in the same city.
I know. And then you're the guy that's like, I gotta choose between these because that would be a tough call, right?
Yeah. And then I heard like it had one time the head of like the big wax museum, like he was the top guy, woke up in the hotel room. And in the bed, there was a taxidermied horse head.
My goodness. And so he went ahead, and then he actually put a wax figure of Marlon Brando in the other guy's bed. But it was from Last Tango in Paris, so it was very foul.
Yeah, it was in his dark period.
That's right. It was covered in butter.
This is angry Marlon. Well, Steve, thanks so much for coming on the podcast again. Thanks
for having me.
The return of the prodigal son.
Absolute pleasure, baby.
Is there anything you want to plug? Things you want to talk about?
No, because the beauty of podcasts is they're evergreen, and if I talk about like a show that's coming out, it'll have already gone, because when people are re-listening to this in, like 10, 15, 20 years from now.
30 years.
Yeah. So so all I would like to say is, listener, you're enough.
Damn. I think that hit everybody. That hit me for sure.
I just created a text tone for people.
I'm going to delete the entire episode except for that part.
We've given all the advice forever.
Yeah, it's gonna be 10 seconds of you just saying that, and then the theme song.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Venga voice.
And now I can't give any props. Off of that, I can't do it. Steve, thanks for being on the podcast, guys. This is the Hell Yeah podcast.
Hell yeah. And I know it ain't right, and I know it ain't right, and I know you shouldn't take this advice, but make sure you're really drunk when you're driving. Walk on some glass with no shoes on, and don't pay for your meal. dine and dash. You better not ask me for no advice, because I'm gonna tell you the wrong thing to do. So can I get a hell yeah? What?